Is it possible that the stubborn, hard fat around your midsection isn't actually a weight issue, but a biochemical signal that a specific organ in your body has gone rogue? Today, we are going to flip the switch on the unique biology of visceral fat to reclaim your health. You might be feeling frustrated that the old rules of calories in, calories out seem to have stopped working. You might be wondering why your body holds on to this specific fat like it escorting a bank vault, no matter how much you walk or how well you eat. Here is the truth that most standard advice misses, and it is the reason we are here today. Visceral fat, that deep, firm belly fat, is biologically distinct from the soft, pinchable fat on your arms or legs. It effectively acts as its own organ. It has 4 times the amount of stress receptors compared to other fat. It has its own blood supply. It creates its own hormones. Trying to starve it away with generic dieting is like trying to open a locked door by yelling at it. You need the right key. In this video, we are going to hand you that key. Actually, we're going to give you 5 of them. We aren't going to talk about generic weight loss tips you've heard 1,000 times. We are going to discuss specific chemical switches, from the estrogen engine to the cortisol loop, that we can flip to turn your body from a storage depot back into a burning furnace. We have structured these insights carefully, starting with foundational changes, and building up to our game-changing revelation number 1, a strategy that overrides your body's appetite control center almost instantly. You cannot afford to miss that one, because without it, the other strategies become infinitely harder to stick to. If you are ready to learn the science that can give you your mobility and confidence back, please take a second to subscribe to our community. We are building a movement of healthy, empowered seniors here. And just a quick, important reminder. All the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique. So please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with them. Now, let's unlock your body's potential, starting with our first crucial insight regarding stress and your metabolism. Insight number 5. The Stress Shield Protocol. We begin with a fundamental truth that is often ignored. Your belly fat is listening to your stress levels, and unfortunately, it has a megaphone. Have you ever noticed that during stressful periods, maybe caring for a loved one, dealing with financial worry, or even just the stress of not sleeping well, the weight seems to pile specifically around your midsection? This isn't a coincidence. It is a biological mechanism. Visceral fat is packed with a specific enzyme called 11-beta-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase type 1. That's a bit of a mouthful. So let's just call it the factory Foreman. This Foreman's entire job is to take inactive cortisone, which is floating harmlessly in your blood, and convert it into active, fat-storing cortisol right inside your fat cells. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your visceral fat is a factory. Most factories wait for a supply truck to deliver materials. However, this factory, your belly fat, is unique because it manufactures its own fuel on site. It creates its own stress signals, which tells the body to store more fat, which creates more stress signals. It becomes a vicious, self-perpetuating loop. This is why simply relaxing often isn't enough. You can be sitting on a beach, reading a book, but if that enzymatic factory is churning internally, your body is still in store mode. This presents a significant challenge because we can't always control the stress in our lives. We can't always control the outside world. Thus, we need a chemical circuit breaker to stop the factory line from the inside. This brings us to the solution: magnesium supplementation. Magnesium acts like a union representative that comes in and calms the factory Foreman down. It regulates your HPA axis, the body's stress command center. When you have adequate magnesium, it lowers the baseline agitation of your nervous system. It essentially cuts the power supply to that cortisol-generating factory. Health experts often highlight that a huge percentage of adults, especially seniors, are deficient in magnesium. By introducing a high-quality form, like magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, typically in the range of 300 to 500 milligrams. You aren't just taking a vitamin. You are chemically signaling your body that it is safe to let go of energy. You are dampening that internal noise so your body can shift from defense mode to burn mode. Now, when it comes to magnesium or any supplement, it's especially important to approach it with awareness. Magnesium can interact with certain medications and affect digestion. It's wise to discuss this addition with your doctor to find the right form and dosage for your unique situation. If you combine this with a few minutes of box breathing, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4 before bed, you are effectively disarming the stress bomb in your belly. Strategy number 4, the estrogen cleanse. So, that's our foundational insight. Number 5, helping to calm the system. However, if you're looking to take things a step further, our next strategy, number 4, delves into a hormonal imbalance that often catches us off guard as we age. Did you know that your fat cells are actually stealing your good hormones and turning them into less desirable ones? As we enter our 60s and beyond, our hormonal balance naturally changes. But visceral fat complicates this significantly by producing an enzyme called aromatase acts like a thief in the night. It takes healthy androgens, the hormones that keep us lean, strong, and energetic, and converts them into estrogen. Now, while estrogen is necessary, an excess of it, specifically a type generated by fat, creates a signal to store more fat. Think of this like a currency exchange booth in a foreign country that is ripping you off. You walk up with valuable gold, your good hormones, and the booth. The aromatase swaps it for a currency that is losing value rapidly. The more belly fat you have, the more of these corrupt booths you have operating in your body. This leads to what we call the estrogen engine, a cycle where fat creates estrogen, and that excess estrogen signals the body to create more fat. It is a difficult cycle to break with willpower alone. But nature has provided a way to shut down these corrupt booths. The answer lies in the produce aisle, the cruciferous intervention. Vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale contain a powerful compound called indole-3-carbinol. When you digest this, it breaks down into something called DIM. Think of DIM as a regulatory auditor who walks into that currency exchange and shuts down the scam. It helps your liver metabolize estrogen correctly, flushing out the bad, potent estrogens and prioritizing the beneficial ones. Therefore, I want you to make it a non-negotiable habit to have at least 1 cup of these vegetables, steamed or roasted, every other day. It's not just about getting your fiber. It is a medicinal intervention to stop your fat from hijacking your hormones. By doing this, you are effectively closing down the estrogen engine and allowing your body to return to a more balanced, fat-burning state. Secret number 3, the insulin switch. We've managed stress, and we've addressed estrogen. Now, we must look at the master storage hormone itself. This brings us to secret number 3, which unlocks the door to the fat cell. You can have the best exercise routine in the world, but if this one specific door is locked, your fat cells simply cannot release energy. The hormone insulin is a storage hormone. Its primary job is to take energy from the food you eat and lock it away in cells for later use. When insulin is high, which happens every time we eat, fat burning is switched OFF. It is biologically impossible to burn significant visceral fat when insulin is elevated. Imagine your fat cells are like a high-security bank vault. Insulin is the security guard standing in front of the door. As long as the guard is on duty, meaning as long as you have recently eaten, nothing comes out of the vault. You can jog, you can stress, you can wish it away, but the guard says no. Many of us graze throughout the day. A piece of toast here, a cookie there, a handful of nuts. However, if you send the guard home for a few hours, the door unlocks. This is the power of intermittent fasting, specifically the 16-to-8 method. By finishing your dinner by 7 p.m. and not eating again until 11 a.m. the next day, you allow insulin levels to drop to near zero. When this happens, a different enzyme called hormone-sensitive lipase wakes up. This enzyme is the crew that goes into the vault and starts moving the fat out to be burned. Now, fasting can be tricky if you get tired or get headaches. This is often a lack of electrolytes, not a lack of food. Sipping on water with a pinch of high-quality salt potassium, and magnesium can keep your energy stable without spiking insulin. This keeps the security guard away, while keeping your brain happy and your energy levels high. When it comes to fasting, it's especially important for us to approach it with awareness. If you are diabetic or on blood pressure medication, shifting your eating window can change how your meds work. Please start gently, maybe just 12 hours at first, and discuss this with your doctor to ensure it's safe for you. Key number 2. The adrenaline hunter. We have unlocked the door with fasting. Now, we need to go in and physically drag the fat out. This brings us to key number 2, a specific way of moving that targets the unique receptors in belly fat. Walking is wonderful for your heart, but if you want to burn visceral fat, a casual stroll often isn't enough to trigger the necessary release. Remember how we said visceral fat is stubborn? Well, it also has a weakness. It is packed with beta-3 adrenergic receptors. These are like little docking stations, specifically designed for adrenaline. When adrenaline hits these receptors, it triggers rapid fat breakdown. However, low-intensity movement doesn't generate enough adrenaline to hit these deep receptors. To understand this better, think of your body like a hybrid car. For slow, easy driving like walking, it uses the electric battery, easy energy. It only turns on the gas engine burning deep fat stores when you step on the pedal and demand power. If you never step on the pedal, that gas sits in the tank forever. We need to rev the engine to reach that deep fuel. But, as seniors, we don't want to stress the body to the point of injury. Therefore, we use a protocol called the Norwegian 4x4. This isn't about sprinting until you collapse. It's about sustained, higher effort. The concept is simple. You warm up, and then you go for 4 minutes at a pace where it is difficult to hold a conversation. You're breathing hard, maybe sweating. Then, you recover for 3 minutes at a slow pace. You repeat this cycle 4 times. This specific duration and intensity taxes your aerobic system just enough to flood the body with controlled adrenaline, which preferentially binds to those belly fat receptors. It signals to the body that the easy energy is enough, and that it must tap into the deep reserves. Now, when it comes to high-intensity intervals, it's especially important to approach it with awareness. If you have joint issues or heart concerns, high intensity is relative to you. It might just mean walking briskly up a hill or using a recumbent bike with higher resistance. You don't need to run. You just need to reach your level of hard work. As always, clear this type of exertion with your physician first. Game-changing revelation number 1, the thermodynamic override. We have covered stress, hormones, fasting, and exercise. But there is one variable that ruins more health journeys than anything else. Hunger. If you are starving, your brain will eventually force you to overeat, undoing all your good work. This brings us to our final, most powerful insight. Game-changing revelation number 1. What if I told you there is a way to surgically strike your hunger center and turn it off before you even sit down to eat? We often think overeating is a lack of willpower. It is not. It is a biochemical drive. When your stomach is empty, it screams for energy. By the time you sit down to a delicious dinner, your brain is in a panic state, urging you to eat fast and eat plenty. This is why we go back for seconds, even when we know we shouldn't. To grasp this, imagine your appetite as a fire alarm ringing in your house. Most of us try to ignore the alarm using willpower, but eventually, the noise is too loud, and we panic. But what if you could send a signal to the fire station saying, "False alarm, we are safe," 20 minutes before the alarm even goes off? The solution is the protein preload strategy. The science here is fascinating. When you consume protein, your gut releases hormones called GLP-1 and PYY. You've probably heard of GLP-1 in the news regarding weight loss drugs. Well, your body makes it naturally. These hormones travel to the hypothalamus in your brain and literally flip the switch from hungry to satisfied. The trick, and this is the secret, is timing. 20 to 30 minutes before your largest meal, consume 30 grams of protein. This could be a simple whey protein shake, a cup of cottage cheese, or a small plate of egg whites. When you do this, you are preloading the system. By the time you sit down for your actual dinner, those satiety hormones have hit your brain. You will look at your food and feel calm. You will naturally eat less because you simply want less. You aren't fighting the fire alarm. You've turned it off. This overrides the thermodynamics of weight loss by making a calorie deficit feel effortless. It is the ultimate hack for the senior metabolism, allowing you to nourish your body without the struggle of deprivation. So, we've covered a lot of ground today. We started with the stress shield of magnesium to calm the factory, moved to the estrogen cleanse with cruciferous vegetables, unlocked the fat cells with the insulin switch of fasting, fired up the engine with the adrenaline hunter workout, and finally, we learned the thermodynamic override of the protein preload. Each one of these is a stepping stone. You don't have to do them all at once. Maybe you start with the protein shake before dinner. Maybe you start with the magnesium. The important thing is to realize that your body is not broken. It's just waiting for the right instructions. Which of these insights, perhaps it was our foundational strategy number 4 regarding vegetables, or maybe our eye-opening key number 2 about exercise, or even our ultimate game-changer number 1, resonated with you the most? Which one are you thinking of trying first? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. If you found this journey through these health discoveries valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find our community. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for our fantastic group of healthy seniors. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.